How's school going?
School's good. I'm stressed. I'm just trying to get everything fit in. And then, friend-wise, I did actually communicate with my friends recently. And things were really good. I'm actually feeling pretty good. I think there was a little bit of a bigger issue because it felt like there's some people that I feel like I'm friends with that I don't feel like will stay for long, but I feel like right now it feels like permanent. You know what I mean? I don't know if that makes
But
sense.
you're in that stage of your life where, not many friends are permanent, but the more friends that you meet now, they just lead you to knowing what kind of friends you want
in the
later on.
future. Wait, yeah,
So
yeah,
the more
yeah,
people
yeah.
you meet, you'll take things, you'll take a few things that you learned from this friendship and this friendship,
Yeah.
but that all just makes up for you to realize what kind of people you want to be friends with later.
Yeah.
So
I never really thought of it like that. I always thought of it like I felt like it being those people, like being that person, hanging out with those certain groups of people. I feel like it like was so permanent that I had to, and I became a different version of me, and like people hang out around because like you become the people you hang around. You know what I mean? Like, and I just feel like I'm not hanging around the people that are gonna help me become a better person. You know what I mean? And it's not fulfilling me. I feel.
But you learn that by being friends with these people.
True.
So.
True. You think about that. And I feel like that's a thing. I mean, I do have a lot of friends that have made me grow and become a better person, which was really good. And I do communicate a lot more than I feel like I've been before. And I feel pretty stable with my friendships at the moment. I feel like love life wise though, it's like it's all over the place for me. At least personally, I feel like it's not something I'm kind of gravitating for. I have been, kind of focused on the past or like past things that didn't serve me, and I just feel kind of like I don't know. Because recently there was an occasion where I could have seen like an ex. And there was a little part of me that's like, oh, okay, well, like, I don't want to be in the same room as someone that I was from the past, and everything like that. Then there's a little part of me that was like, oh, I kind of want to see them, and I want to see their face again, because I hadn't seen them in so long. You know what I mean? It was kind of like that, and, like, I still, like, but knowing me, the second I see them in person, it feels real, and then it feels like, oh, they're still in my head again, even though the whole reason to move on is, like, don't even think about them, don't associate yourself with them, don't even, like, be in the same groups or anything like that. So like the thought of that like really rewired my brain because I was like, oh, they're gonna be in the same room as me. Like,
so is it really you want to see them through like curiosity, or
that's what I'm trying to figure out, because it was like I was thinking, oh, okay, I'm curious because like I want to know how they are now. Like I just like I knew we weren't probably gonna talk. It was probably gonna be completely awkward. I wasn't gonna interact with them. But it was more so like, well, I'm curious why they're wanting to come to an event they know that I would probably be at. Well, I'm curious on, just like how they are now, you know what I mean, after everything, because I mean I haven't seen them since like we haven't talked for like a really bad like ending off really badly, and I was curious of that, and then just being in an old place that we used to be, you know what I mean, like it was a place that we were used to hanging out all the time, you know what I mean, so that was what was curious, like brought me to be more curious, and then but then, like, they didn't show up, and they didn't come, and it was, like, I was, like, thinking afterwards, I was, like, why am I bummed? Like, I should be happy that they didn't come. I should be happy I wasn't put in that uncomfortable situation. But then I'm, like...
So, do you show up to a place automatically assuming that there's a chance that they'll be there?
Yeah. And it, like, kind of put my hopes up for something that I shouldn't have been hopeful for. You know what I mean?
Right.
That makes me think.
So, what about them being there? Other than you say you want to, like, see how they're doing, you want to see how they're doing visually, or do you?
I feel like I could observe them from afar, like see how they're doing. Like I'd be like, oh, did they get a new haircut? Oh, like what are they wearing now? Oh, like who are they talking to? Like who are they friends with still that are there? Because it was like a social event. Like it was like an event that was like all the old people that we all used to hang out with, and it was like all the people that we used to talk to. I don't know who they talk to now. I don't know who they hang out with now. I don't know. And I think a little part of me was like, oh, who do they talk to? So I can like know who they still keep in touch with in like our old life. You know what I mean? Like I know not to talk to those people or like kind of thing.
So that's why you want to know, to avoid those same people?
I don't know. It's like a mix.
So what does knowing what they're up to or knowing who they talk to do for you in this situation?
That's a good thing. I think, I don't know. Honestly, it's like, because there's always going to be a little bit a part of me curious of how they're doing now. You know what I mean? There's a little part of me. There's always a little part of them and me. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, they hurt me really bad. Things didn't end well. I had to put, it was more in perspective. It's not that I wanted things to end. I had to for the sake of myself. You know, for the sake of my sanity, for the sake of my self-respect. You know what I mean? I put myself first. But it was also, that doesn't stop the caring, because, like, just because I stopped talking to them, just because I blocked them, just because I did this, that, doesn't mean I'm going to stop caring about them. And it's, like, just, I have to stop caring about them in order to put myself first. And so, to think about, like, seeing them again, it's not so, it's like, I can still know what they're doing, still gravitate, and still have that little part of them with me, but I still have that self-respect, you know what I mean? Because it's, like, it's not like I asked him to come to the party, or it's like not the party, but not like I asked him to come there, and because it wasn't a party. But it's like, it's not like I asked him to be there, but it's like I knew he was probably gonna be there, so it made me want to go more. And the chance of someone, you know, from my past being there, like, was kind of like, oh, I'm kind of more intrigued to go now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which,
So,
I don't know.
So, do you think that there's a part of them that could be interested in seeing you at these events?
I think that's what gravitates me the most. Because, like, I think that's what was, like, getting my head. Because, like, it was word of mouth. Like, oh, everyone was, like, telling me that this person might be coming because they wanted to come. And they reached out to someone that was in this group and was like, hey, like, are you guys having, like, because it was, like, a concert thing they were performing. And they were like, hey, are you guys performing, like, and I was like, oh, I definitely might show up, like, I might come. And then that person tells my friend tells me, and then I'm like, why would they want to come? Like, why would they want to come? Because they came, like, to another event that was there. No one really, like, they're not really close with anyone, so they didn't really talk to anyone. And I'm not really a well-liked person. So it's like...
You?
No, them.
Okay.
So it was like, they're not a well-liked person, so when they showed up, like, I was like, why would they want to come anyways? They're not going to have a lot of fun. It's a long drive. It's like, what's really the purpose? Why did they want to come? Right. And the thought, because when we were in contact, they knew that I went to all these events. They knew that I would be there. They knew, it's like, maybe they knew. Maybe they didn't know. Maybe, but, like, the thought in my head, my brain was like, they know that I'm going to be here. Why do they want to come? You know, why do they want to come and see all these old people that they don't really like anymore? You know what I mean? For what? Like, do they want to see how I'm doing? Do they want to know what I'm, like, up to? Do they want to see me in a room again? I think that's what I was curious about.
So let's try thinking about something. So let's say that you showed up to this event and they're there as well.
Okay.
So what do you do what's going through your head if throughout the entire event they don't make eye contact with you, they're completely in their own world, and no interaction happens? Like, what would be going through your head in that case?
Okay. I did put in a scenario of, like, what would happen if they did come. I think if they didn't, like, bat me any eye, that would honestly, I think, obviously it feels like a gut punch in the stomach, because it's like, okay, maybe they came here for the friends. Only for the friends. They didn't come here for me at all. Makes me feel a little bit... It's a gut punch because it's like, a little part of me wants the reason for them to come to be me. But then there's a little part of me where it's like, oh wow, maybe they have moved on. I should be moving on. I think the fact that he's not like, the thought of him not moving on makes me want to stay longer. Makes me want to wait for him. Makes me want to do this. But hearing him moving on actually helps me moving on, even though it hurts so much.
Yeah.
Like, it helps me. You know what I mean? For him not showing up, it was like, it made me kind of go a little more crazy, because it was like, now I don't even know anything. Because it's like, okay, if he shows up, maybe he has a little bit of thought process for me. Like, maybe that. But now he didn't show up, now I can't read him and see how he feels about me. Because, like, I feel like at a point I thought there would be, like, some sort of eye contact, and the eye contact would tell me, how does he feel for me? And that would tell me, move on or wait.
Okay.
You know, it's crazy delusional thought process, but it was my thought process.
So you're still yourself, like, on the fence about, you know,
Yeah.
continuing.
I like have
to
no
give it
definite
time.
feelings. I literally don't even know how I feel.
Mhm.
Like, so that's why I'm like, he probably doesn't even know how he feels. You know what I mean? He probably is completely moved on, or he's probably still thinking about me, or he didn't even care about the situation at all. But in my head, I'm like, this really bugged me. This, how it ended, really bugged me, and how he treated me. Like, a little part of me wants to be like, he feels guilty about what he did, so he wants to. I don't really want him to ever apologize, but a little part of me wants that clarification that he'll be somewhere and feel sorry. You know what I mean? Like, I'll get that confirmation without actually having to ask him.
Mm-hmm. And what would that confirmation look like without having to ask him? Him coming to you?
Him finding a way to be around me.
Okay. So that basically determines, their actions determine how you're going to be feeling about this whole situation.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know what that says about me. I don't know what it says about them. I don't know. But it's like, I mean, before I was doing really well, but after I got in contact with them again, after I saw them again, and like having them really treat me as like nothing and like a no option, but like making me believe that I was, and then like having it like all crumble, you know what I mean? And like one day and have to, because it really solidified me that day that it was no longer gonna ever, I had to make sure, because before there was always what if, you know what I mean? Like there's still a possible chance we could talk again. It's still a possible chance. But now it's solidified. If I ever got back to with him, or if I ever like hung out around him anymore, we could never be friends. We could never be in the same group. We could never do this, because this solidifies like, that's just how I would treat myself. Like, are you gonna really, am I really gonna stoop that low of being around someone that treated me that badly? You know what I mean? And it's like, that really, that night, for him to do that and treat me that way was solidified to me that it was like, you know, never, I can never talk to him, I can never talk to him ever again.
Mm-hmm.
And before, I think having that little bit, what if, kind of let me go on, move on a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's like,
So,
I can't move on at all.
Can you be more clear about how he treated you that night?
It was essentially like he, like, let me on, we were supposed to, like, hang out, and then he decided to hang out with another girl instead.
Mm-hmm.
And it was kind of like, it showed that I was completely replaceable. You know, completely replaceable, and to not care about my feelings. Like, him saying sorry really did not feel like a sorry. It felt like, sorry, this was inconvenient for you, but this is my choice, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And for that, like, I blocked him on everything. I saw them in person because there was a party afterwards, and I saw them in person being there, and I got confirmation from her if there was anything, because like I got confirmation from her because I was so confused and like what the situation was. Like, was I genuinely delusional, like he was actually interested in me because we were talking, or was he just like doing this because he was trying to fill the void of liking her because he had liked her previously than was talking? So I thought it was like, was I just to fill the void, or was she just to fill the void, or was all of this just some crazy, him being absolutely evil, psychotic type of thing? That was my thought process. So I got confirmation from her because I knew it wasn't going to get confirmation from him, and I simply just didn't want anything from him because I knew it was going to be no response or a bunch of lies. You know what I mean? So I got confirmation from her, like, hey, are you guys talking? And if you are, I'm sorry, we were talking, and I just want to let you know that's he, you know, because I thought it was a situation where she was talking to him while he was talking to me, and I wouldn't wish that upon any other girl, you know what I mean? But it was also like, a little part of me was wanting it for myself to know, hey, are you guys actually talking, to know if he's actually talking to another girl. And she was like, no, we just hung out that party. Like, that was literally it. Like, I stopped talking to him a long time ago, which is the time we started talking, when they stopped talking. So for me, it like really kind of was another gut punch, because I was like, wow, he really couldn't get anyone. She didn't like him. She showed no interest, and now he chose me. And it's so repetitive in literally every person that I ever tried to date. Like, they don't get the person they want, so I'm like second choice, and that's like really just, it's just not a great feeling. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. So let's take back and realize, you know, the situations that you are in your life.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're in college,
Mm-hmm.
you're in your first year college.
Yeah.
So in that first year of college, you've met people before. You've been around, you know, like potential dating partners.
Yeah.
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 So with those potential dating partners, do you look around and do you think about, you know, being an option to them, or do you look around and thinking about them being an option for you?
I think it's about being an option for them, honestly. In my head, it's like, obviously, I think it's really hard for me. I know it sounds like, oh, like, you know, I care about this person a lot, I'm kind of obsessed kind of thing, but it's like, it's really hard for me to like someone, so when I like them, I go all in.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So when I'm usually, like, I'm not usually looking for people, you know what I mean? So when someone kind of shows interest in me and I'm like, oh, like, would they actually see me that way? I'm like automatically assuming they just want to be friends. You know what I mean? Like, I'm putting in my headspace. I'm like, they just want to be friends until they give me a solid reason. Like, hey, like they're blunt with me. Hey, I have feelings for you. Hey, I see you romantically. I'm not thinking otherwise because I don't want to get my feelings hurt. I don't want to put my hopes up in being like this person because I know at the end of the day I probably am going to be a second choice. There's probably someone from the past. There's probably someone that they think is more interesting.
Yeah.
Which is a really bad mindset, but that's what my headspace is.
Okay. I see. So, back to what you were saying about this individual that you had the experience with. So, let's say in a situation that they do approach you, and that they do come to you just to say hi, just to say how you're doing, like, does that, even if it's not romantic, they just show that they are acknowledging your presence, like, how do you take that in your head? What would that show to you?
Yeah. I mean, I have thought about it, but I've also, like, tried to ignore that feeling of, like, what I would have done, because, like, I feel like in my head I was like, oh, I'm, like, gonna ignore them, or, like, oh, I'm not gonna give them time of day, I'm gonna be mature about it, you know what I mean? Or I'm just gonna be like, yeah, hey, like, act, like, normal, you know what I mean? In my head, I feel like I'd be really shocked that they would ever even, like, take time other day to even ask, because, like, they aren't the type of person like that. They're pretty avoidant, and so I think I'm pretty avoidant. They've kind of made me avoidant, you know, kind of avoiding any of the problems I have, or any of the problems I have with them specifically, so I never really communicated to them about it. And so I think if I ever, like, came to, like, a point where they ever came up to me, I don't know, I would be mature about it. I mean, I would talk to them like normal. I wouldn't say anything specific. I wouldn't, you know, I don't know. I think I would just, like, I would be normal. I mean, if they end, like, if they're like, how was your day? Like, how'd you do? Like, have you been? I would just be like, yeah, I'm good. I'm good. And, like, I wouldn't give them much time in there. Because, like, I think I don't want to give access to people that don't deserve it. You know, access people in my life. You know, like, he doesn't, like, if you ever came to me, he doesn't necessarily need to know what I'm doing. You know what I mean? Give them a very bland response, you know? Not disrespectful, but not enough for they know everything about me already. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. So, you're saying that they're an avoidant person, right?
Yeah.
So, them showing up to a party, just showing up, like, how is that, what more do you expect as a hint to you, since you're saying that you're using their presence as, like, a sign whether or not you should continue to feel your feelings, or if you should just completely disregard everything towards this person. So what more than showing up and say that they wouldn't likely talk to you? If they did show up, what more would it take for you to lean into staying or lean into not staying?
I think more so them acknowledging that I'm there. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like a normal person would be like, didn't even know that I was there, or, like, you know, well, I mean, like, maybe would, but, like, wouldn't go out of their way to be around me.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that would happen a lot when I start talking again, because, like, beforehand there would be instances where we never, like, interacted, like, all year. You know what I mean? And we were around each other, we were in the same groups, but we didn't interact with each other because we were interested in being involved with each other anymore. I mean, I wasn't, and I don't think he was. So we kept that. I was more so, I didn't keep presence of him because I respected his wishes of not being in contact, not communicating, not hanging around each other, not being friends. You know what I mean? So him, when he would come to parties that I would be at, him going out of his way to be around me and talk to people that I was talking to, like, that solidified to me, like, oh, like, he's not uncomfortable being around me again. Like, it's not something he's like, weirded out by. So in my head, I'm like, does he? Because usually his sign is avoiding me completely. Not even, like, he'll look at me, but when I look at him, he'll completely, like, turn away. You know what I mean? Or when I'm walking into a direction he's moving the other way. That's when he's being avoidant. But when I can tell he's trying to be in my presence is when he's coming up to people around me. Like, it's obvious. Like, I feel like it's obvious. Like, he's talking to people that I'm talking to, and it's just, I don't know. There's a significant signs.
So you're relying on like body language.
Yeah, body language, and if he's like initiating moments and talking to me, because I mean, I know him pretty well to know his body language, so I feel like that's something I do about like anyone I know pretty well. Like, I know what they're meaning by their body language or certain things they say. You know, like I'm reading into it. So I think that's why it was so important to me to see him there, because in my head, seeing his body language towards me or just the presence of like being there would have solidified to me how he felt about things.
But if you look, let's try looking from like an exterior perspective, not just yours, but from, you know, just from the exterior. Does talking to other people around you, like, is that all that you are kind of leaning on as a sign? Like, just, you know, like being around?
I mean, I think in more of like, cause like broad wise, like, yeah, like when I'm in a big group or like when I'm talking to one-on-one, like I am looking at body language and I am looking at like what they're telling me. But it's like, since if I can't see, if they're not talking to me, if they're not doing that, I am looking only at their body language because I can't get anything else from them. But if I have other things, like what they're saying to me, their tone, their, you know, or the things they're telling me, you know what I mean? Like, I'm obviously looking at that. But if it's something that I can't see or I can't listen to, like if he's not talking to anyone from afar and I can't hear it, or he's not doing anything and he's just like being there, seeing his eye contact, all that stuff like is important to me, and that's what I'll look for, because I'm not talking to him, you know what I mean? Like, I know he wouldn't talk to me.
So then if he did show you those signs, like talking to people around you, what are you doing with that?
I am like observing it. Honestly, I'm just gonna be looking for it and like what he's doing. You know what I mean? Like, if he's like talking to people that are around me but not giving me anything, you know, not talking to me forward, not putting me in the group, you know what I mean? That cues to me that like, oh, okay, he's purposely trying to ignore me. He's not wanting to talk to me. Or if he is including me into the conversation, he's wanting to talk to me. He is wanting to include me. He isn't seeing me as a person. And it's crazy because it's like, I'm telling him what psychological he's doing to me, but I'm like reading into it, and it's like I know he's doing this, but it's like,
so sounds like a back and forth game.
Yeah.
To you guys.
Yeah.
So I was going to ask, what would you do if, you know, he showed you those signs and like nothing came from it? Like nothing came from it.
Okay.
Like, what do you do with that? Because they're technically the signs, but there's nothing coming from it.
Yeah. I feel like that has occurred to me before, because I that's what I thought initially would happen if he did come. Because, I mean, obviously, I feel like when tension's high, we haven't talked since. It would be weird, it'd be awkward. Obviously, I'm glad he didn't come, so I didn't have to put myself in the circumstances. But I think if he came, I never got a conversation with him, I never got eye contact, I never got body language, any signals from him, and he left, that has solidified to me that he feels no towards way to me, he's trying to be completely normal, and I should go about my day, and I should treat that completely normal, and respect that he is not trying to acknowledge me out of him moving on, you know, and I think that would have sat with me a little bit better than the fact that he didn't show up, or the fact that if he did come, he would have talked to me or something. I think that would have sat with me better, because at least I acknowledge, like, he doesn't want anything to do with me. There's a little part of me that thinks that he does.
So what's stopping you from going to him and breaking the ice?
I've done that so many times.
Okay.
And I think that it's like, because I would always be the one communicating and telling him, this makes me upset. This is what you're doing. Why are you doing this? Okay. Why are you doing this? So that's why I'm like, I don't want to be the first one to do that. I don't want to be the first one, especially after this, like, me blocking him, me doing all of that shows, like, I should be standing on business kind of thing, but I'm not. In my head, I'm secretly not. But to him, I don't want him to say that I care. I don't want him to think that I care. 'Cause I care, but I don't want to care.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
And you want him to care on his own? Is that what you want?
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like me having sort of influence on him thinks that, oh, she likes me again, so I'm gonna like her. I think it's kind of like, in my head, I already kind of know that it's like, he only likes when I give him the attention, the time of day,
Mm-hmm.
and he likes the fact that I like him, but he doesn't actually want to be with me. He likes to chase. You know what I mean?
Right. So, I would say the best thing for you to do is to just continue to do your own thing. You know, go to these events. Try not to pay him too much mind. You can acknowledge his presence. You know, you can look around. You can see who he's talking to, but don't change what you would do. You know, in that situation, based on what he's doing, his body language. You know,
Yeah.
just
yeah.
hold your stance. Stay with what you're doing, and you know whatever he does, he's gonna do it. And you can't control whether or not he does give you body language or he doesn't. So, but you can control what you do with that information. And based on the history that you told me about him,
Mm-hmm.
I think that considering that he loved the chase, or from your words, right? The best thing for you to do is just continue doing what you're doing, and whether or not he comes, or just to get the chase out of you, basically.
Mm-hmm.
That you can control what you do with those situations, but he's gonna come back and do this if that's what he does. But either way, you have to be prepared for both situations, where if he does it, he does it. If he doesn't, then but at the end of the day, it's still your choice on how you're gonna interpret these events.
Yeah.
Especially with knowing how he is previously.
Yeah. So you're like,
The
so,
best thing you can do is
yeah.
just wait for, of course, what he does, but I wouldn't rely too much on based on what you're telling me.
Yeah.
what
I
he
think
does.
it's because it's like, so you're basically saying like his mind games, like, I mean, there's gonna be mind games no matter what.
Mhm.
So basically approach it just the way that I want, just the things that would best benefit me and not him. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Okay.
Think about what's best for you. Think about what you want to do.
Mhm.
Don't rely on what he's doing based on that. Even if it's nothing, but if it's something, it's something. But the best thing for you to do is just, keep doing what you're doing.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's just the best way to just move on.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so now that we're at the end of our session, based on the feedback that I gave you, like, how are you interpreting that? Does that make sense to you? Do you think that that's something that you can do?
Yeah, honestly, I think it's not like a big thing. Like, I think it's something that can happen. Like, in the situation, if you're like telling me like, go up to them and say this exactly, like that would have been like, oh, that would be like a lot for me. But I think it's more so the thought of like, I have to be prepared for any scenario, and I have to prepare myself mentally, and focus on myself. And I think I can do that. I think that's important.
I think you can do it too.
Yeah.
Based on what you tell me, you already stood your ground a lot, and you've already put
Yeah.
your foot down before.
It's changed a lot since like the past, so I
Mhm.
think it's harder that it's like actually I can see myself changing as a person, but it's hard that I'm actually doing it.
And it's totally fine. It's good for you to change, but just because you're changing doesn't mean everybody else around you is changing at the same time. So
Yeah.
even though
That
it's different
perspective.
for you, you'll react to things differently, sure, but keep in mind, people that do these things, you don't know if they're changing. They could come back and do the same things, but still
Yeah.
be the same person that they are.
Yeah.
There's only one way to see how that happens, but you can always control how you react to those situations.
True. Yeah.
Mhm.
I like the perspective a lot.
All right, thank you for meeting me.